Hi everybody, it's Lisa Adams, Caregiver Advisor here at Caregivers Alberta, and I am with my great friend Jenni Hartt.
Hi.
And we're here to talk about the Fall into Wellness night that we're having October 29th. And that is going to be for caregivers to come out and enjoy some evening respite time. There's going to be some wonderful activities, some wonderful speakers, and actually Jenni is one of those speakers. So Jenni and I are going to sit here and have a little chat today with regards to a bit of her story, what she does. So Jenni, one of the things you're going to talk about is your adrenal fatigue. And I would love if you could kind of share what that conversation may look like if they came. And a lot of people probably don't even understand what adrenal fatigue is. Could you share a little bit?
Sure. So adrenal fatigue is a collection of symptoms. It works differently for everybody. In my case, it was literally extreme exhaustion. Like, I couldn't wake up. I could get 10 hours of sleep, and I was still a walking zombie all day. Particularly weight gain, the salt and sugar cravings, my God, like, I had a lot of sugar. Also, it was depression. Like, it was depression with that, and along with that, I got a bunch of food sensitivities and a yeast overgrowth actually in my body. So as you can see, it's a whole bunch of stuff delved into one. You'll hear it called different terms, adrenal exhaustion, hypoadrenia, and to the extreme point, Addison's disease, where your adrenals burn out completely, and they're actually little thumb-sized glands that sit literally on top of our kidneys at the back, and they're responsible for 8 or more hormone production. One of the things that I like to tell people about actually is you do have a decreased libido when you do have adrenal fatigue. And that's honestly, in my one of the things that I noticed as well. So I'm going to, I guess, share more of my journey when we're at the Fall into Wellness and how I recognized that I needed help, because I was at a really dark place. And it was actually fairly recently.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember.
Lisa was actually witness to it.
Yeah.
And it was what to do with myself. Where do I go? Where do I get help? Luckily enough, I was able to go to a naturopath doctor and do the natural holistic way. My medical doctor did help me out with stress management. And also, the biggest thing for me was girlfriend support, or support of somebody that could empathize with my situation of just even burnout, or just even like mom exhaustion.
So because we have a lot of caregivers, and that's kind of what we help with and provide support in that with, because you're a caregiver.
Yes.
Right? And in that respect, what would you tell our caregivers that are watching that they may notice? Because ultimately, stress can, like you had managed stress management was something that you've worked on, and depression and that sort of thing. But some of the things that the caregivers that are out there watching may notice and may really want to be intrigued to come and listen to you speak. And the reason I say that is because, you know, we will have a number of caregivers watching this, and they may not be aware that it's a possibility of something that's going on with them. So what would 3 things that you could tell them, that the reasons why they would want to come and listen to your story?
Yeah, definitely. In retrospect, the biggest thing and number one thing is, you know, I guess a little background. I am a caregiver towards my mom. She's not living with me, but she will be soon, and she's still fairly independent, but still needs the help with some day-to-day activities and appointments. And also, I was a nurse for 12 years, and I was one to always put my patients first, because that was my job. So in retrospect, the biggest thing, and even now, is to ask for help. You are not alone, and that's one reason why this organization exists, is to ask for help, even if it's from a neighbor or a family member of whatever sort, a girlfriend, a husband, or a partner. And the other biggest thing is learning what works for you with your own self-care. So when I was in my 20s, my self-care regime was going out with my girlfriends and drinking and being in the social scene. I thought that was taking care of myself, but it really wasn't. So learn what works for you for self-care. And some suggestions would be just even taking a 15-minute walk, getting out, getting some fresh air. What I like to do, especially, when there's not snow on the ground, is actually put my feet on the earth.
Right.
And it'll actually recharge you. You feel the positivity from the earth. Mother Nature is there to help us, not to hinder us.
So what's really interesting, this afternoon, we're actually doing a stress management seminar. And I believe that they possibly could still register for that. Yeah, I'm getting the yes in behind the camera, just so everybody's aware that we're going to be doing on Zoom. So if you're interested and you can't find the link on our Facebook page or anything, email us. You can email me at ladams@caregiversalberta.ca. But also know that you can reach out to Caregivers Alberta, because I'm the caregiver advisor. I'm there to provide that one-on-one support if you feel that you have no other place to go. Send me a message, give me a call. That's what I'm here for. But now getting back to the Fall into Wellness night, you're again, you know that you're going to be talking about adrenal fatigue, but you're also going to have a table set up there because you're a holistic nutritionist.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't really know what that means. And when you use the word holistic, some people kind of go, whoa, that woo-woo stuff. Yeah. And some people go, well, what is that? So can you share a little bit about what that is?
So holistic, when we look at it, it's a whole mind, body, spiritual connection. And some people may not resonate with that, and I don't want people to get turned off of or scared of, the word holistic. So when we look at holistic, I look at nutrition that works for everybody. I'm not all about one diet. I'm all about making sure that we get the nutrition that we need from the food that we eat. The biggest challenge I actually get, Lisa, is eating healthy is expensive. Right? Honestly, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be expensive. It does not have to be. It's just knowing what foods to get that work with your body. Everybody is different. Everybody asks about different types of diet. Just a quick example, like the ketogenic diet or the paleo diet. If that's going to work for you, then we will find out if it works for you.
Right.
I'm a huge advocate of fruits and vegetables first, especially when it comes to us as caregivers or as moms. I know there's single dads out there, but I can't resonate with men, right? That we need to make sure that we get that food that will give us the nutrition. And when we get the proper nutrition we need, we will notice a difference in our energy. We will, and it doesn't happen overnight. It happens with consistency, which, yes, I do struggle with still, but we don't need to throw it all away. Also, too, with my recent journey with, my hot mess that I was, it's really consistency with taking care of ourselves. So guilt-free self-care with the body. And also, I know a lot of people are unsure about a belief system. So when we talk about God or the universe or angels or energy, it's really just being able to have that thought in your mind, or have that conversation in your mind, whether it's just with just sitting talking out loud, or whether it's actually if you want to talk to God or the universe, talking and getting it out or writing it down really helps that mind settle.
That's so true that you say that. I actually had a conversation with somebody yesterday, and he had gone through a cancer experience himself. And one of the things that he said to me, because I said, do you mind if I ask you some questions? And he goes, you know what, I would much rather talk about it. He goes, because the more I talk about it, the easier it gets. And ironically, again this morning, one of the executive assistants that work in our building, we had a conversation with regards to some things that have happened with her, and that she said that, now by talking about it, it actually releases some of the anxiety and the stressors that come along with it. And she didn't really realize how much it was hampering her physically and emotionally. So true that you're actually saying that. So when you had your table that night, at the Fall into Wellness night, what are some of the things that we can expect at your table?
Well, it will be basic nutrition information. We're going to look at popular food items that I've noticed around, the nutrition information that's in them. How will it benefit our body? Definitely, I'll have a few recipes which are still in the making. Maybe they'll stay a surprise. Well, I know I have to tell you guys, so you guys know. That will not necessarily, I don't want to say increase your energy like that. It's not, it's not a 180 turnaround right away, but it's the consistency. So when you're out and running for appointments with the person that you're caring for or the loved one you're caring for, you're able to grab that quick snack out of your bag or your purse as opposed to running through the McDonald's or the Tim Hortons drive-through, which we all have done. I have done it before. However, when I'm able to find that food that I like and that I'm able to benefit from it nutritionally, I will take that with me instead of going through the Tim Hortons drive-through.
So, what are you saying? You're going to have a couple of snack options that can
Possibly,
be made?
yes, I will.
Oh, okay. So you guys are going to have to come check out what snack options there are. So, Jenni's going to tell you a little bit about her business and her business name because I absolutely love it. If you want more information about Jenni, I think we'll probably post her Facebook page that she has as well as her website and all her information so you can kind of check her out before you come and get to know her, because the idea is for you guys to come in. It's going to be a night. I think we have 11 or 12 different vendors that are going to show up. They're going to be speaking. We're going to try to have each one of them do a live before October 29th happens. But tell them a little about your dirty business.
My dirty. Okay, so the funny thing about this is I've had a lot of people ask, what do you do? And it's kind of funny when I say my business name, which I will say. I like to pause for a second.
I know, that's why I'm not giving it away.
So along with being a certified nutrition holistic practitioner, it's a very long title, but I think it's pretty cool. My business name is Talk Dirt to Me. I came upon that because I love playing in the dirt in the garden, and I actually had a sign on my greenhouse that said, "I love it when you talk dirt to me." Found it at a greenhouse, and I'm like, that's really interesting. I really like that. So when I got into the nutrition game, I decided that would be it, because I'm not afraid to get down to the nitty gritty of it. I'm not afraid to say that food is going to be crappy for you. That food is going to be really good for you. Or also that I will find out what will work for you, for your body, for food, whether you have allergies, sensitivities, intolerances, or you just really don't like that food. And if you don't like that food, I'm not going to make you eat it. Also, I like to help families through nutrition, but also my biggest thing now is helping moms and caregivers living that guilt-free life when they take time for themselves. We feel so guilty. As a mom, I've worked through so much guilt of not spending those few more moments with my kids, because I was a single mom for 2.5 years. What do you think I did? Spent every waking moment with my children. So in a way, I carried that through a lot of my life. I'm still working on, I still have those moments where I'm like, oh, I didn't spend that bit of moment with them. I feel guilty. But guess what? When I didn't spend those moments with them, I spent moments for myself. I did something for myself. And the next time I was with my children, and I guess for, people that are watching in their case, when they're with their loved one who they're caring for, will be able to give them more of themselves, as opposed to their energy is in the toilet and their mind is off that way.
You know what? I'm so glad that you said that, because one of the things as caregivers that happen to us with the caregiver fatigue is that we kind of put ourselves on the back burner. We don't take care of ourselves. Then we are the ones who end up with autoimmune disorders, illnesses, and other things that are happening. And when that happens, we can't take care of the people we're needing to take care of. And what that does is it's a big cycle or a big loop of illness and different things that are happening. So if we actually take time to find our wellness, and that works through body, mind, and spirit, and that's one of the great things about this event. It is about finding balance and healing within that evening and coming in to have some reprieve. So a little bit of secret stuff that is going to be happening that night is we're going to have an opportunity for you to make bath bombs. And we have a wonderful lady, which we will be doing a Facebook Live with, who actually works with essential oils, and she's making specific blends that is going to benefit those caregivers, which is really cool. And we both know Jillian.
We do,
so,
yes.
So we're super excited about that too. But the one other thing that I wanted to kind of talk to you about is we know how important your kids are. And we know that initially when you started Talk Dirt, it was really focused on you with your family and your kids, and being able to encourage the kids to actually participate in what you're doing, whether that's in the grocery store, whether that's in your garden, whether that's here cooking with you. As a caregiver that may have somebody who has an illness or disability, how would you suggest that maybe they could do that same sort of thing with whoever they're caring for?
Well, it really is a whole family or whole household effort when we're looking to optimize our energy, our nutrition, just I'm going to say our health and wellness in a whole. So everybody in the house, get them involved, number one, in finding out what they like to eat. Because if we're not asking, we're not communicating, and we put something on the table that is just going to cause a standoff, then nobody's going to benefit from it. It actually just throws us more into, decreased energy. We're not eating, so we're not getting nutrition, and we're just plainly upset. Right? So we start by finding out what everybody's likes and dislikes are. And I would do that with clients. And then start building a meal plan or a plan or just some food ideas around that. And then if family members or people living in the home as a whole are able to come to the grocery store with you, have them look for those foods, have them find those foods. And then just show them that it makes us feel a lot better when we're involved in step one to step, how many other steps we're taking. Right. And once we see the end result and we find out how good it tastes, really, and we also find out if we're consistent with that, we also find out how much better we feel when we get some nutrition in our bodies. Right. And again, you won't notice that feeling right away. Sometimes it will take a couple of weeks or maybe a month. It is a process. Right. Yes. It depends on everybody's individual health needs as well. And you and I would work different. You maybe feel it quicker than I may not feel it. I still have times, I guess, like as a side note, where my nutrition is optimal, but my stress or running around, like my son just started hockey and my daughter's in gymnastics, and now with the business being picked up, where I want to be sharing that message on stage, that we don't have to get to a point where we can't take care of ourselves, that I need to just a little bit reprioritize. But if I don't put myself first in all of this, guess where I'm going to end up? Back in that burnout, exhaustion, fatigue situation, where I never want to end up there again. No, and I don't blame you. It is not fun. So I guess really just number one is to ask for help. And then once you ask for help, whoever you're talking to may know somebody that can help you, and be open to the suggestions. Me being the one that thought I could take care of myself and never ask for help, I needed to be open to that suggestion when I told my partner that I needed help. Right. And you're really lucky because Brad is a wonderful guy. Yes. Wonderful guy. And hopefully he'll show up at the wellness night too, because he usually does tag along. But the knowledge and the support and the love that you see between you two is truly awesome. So one of the last things that I want to actually ask you about is, because you use the word self-care. Yes. And there's a negative inclination around that word these days. So I want to change that up. And that's kind of one of the reasons why it used to be called the Self-Care Fair. Okay. And we decided that, when you think about self-care, it's a job, it's work. And if you guys agree with me, make a comment down below, thumbs up or something, so that we actually understand and we've changed the name properly and appropriately, because it feels like a job and it feels like something that you're doing. But one of the things that I want to ask you is, what is something
pleasurable that you have done this past weekend? Because it's only Tuesday.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I was in a course all weekend. Over the course of 3 days, I gave 32 hours to a course to improve my speaking for many reasons. So Sunday, I was like, I just need something. I've been stuck in a hotel conference room. You know, I was able to get up, go to the bathroom, stretch, do whatever I needed to do when people were talking. I actually went over, luckily enough, there was a little pond and grass by the hotel, and I went over, took my shoes off, walked around on the grass, and sat in the sunshine.
So you did some earthing.
I did some earthing, and I did some energizing from the sun. It was bright, but it was beautiful. I stepped on some thistles, but I was able to completely recharge from that.
Wonderful.
So that is my thing, and that's why I say we all have to find our one thing.
And so here's another question.
Yeah.
How long did that take?
That was probably about 15, 20 minutes.
15 or 20 minutes?
Yeah.
15 or 20 minutes?
Yes.
Which really is not a significant amount of time when we think about it. We waste more than an hour or two in a day at some point throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
Even the most busy of people find a way to skitter off for at least 15 minutes. So now my next question is, before we go, what is something that's pleasurable that you're going to do this week?
This week, I'm actually going to go ice skating.
Oh,
yes.
Lovely.
Yes, so, and, you know, really, it's just more or less, I don't plan my self-care out every day. It's become, or caring for myself, it's become more of a habit.
Right.
So, yes, especially, you know, some people may be asking, well, what do you do in the winter? Well, the winter, I just find pleasurable activities for myself, and I do enjoy ice skating. Also, it'll just be more or less if I sit and have that cup of coffee by myself, or if I sit and have a cup of tea in the evening for myself when I realize I've had a busy day. We do get caught up in our lives. We
Absolutely,
really do.
we do.
And all of a sudden, a few days go by, and you're wondering, what have I done?
Right.
Or what? And the question you should be asking yourself every day is, what have you done for yourself? What have you done for yourself? And whether you do like to sit in the morning and drink that coffee, or in the evening and drink that tea. Get in the habit of asking yourself that every day. And if you need a reminder, we've all heard this from any coaches that Lisa and I have had together. Put sticky notes up everywhere. Put it up in your bathroom. And when you go to bed at night, what have I done for myself today? Oh, well, you know what? I took my dog for a walk. Even if that's something that you do to clear your mind, then make sure that you do it. Because number one, I didn't understand what self-care, caring for myself was. Fair. And that's how I got myself in. I never knew it existed. I didn't know I took time for myself as a nurse and a mom. What was that? But to be in this situation at 37 years old, I now understand exactly what I have to do for myself to not get back in that situation. And I beg you to find the time, because you will notice, or if you already have noticed, that you may have similar symptoms that I have, or you have different symptoms and you're wondering where they've come from. Well, that is in itself starting in an exhausted, stressed out, burnt out, whatever state we want to call it, but just get into that habit of finding, even start off with 5 minutes and then work your way up to whatever you can fit in your schedule. Everybody's schedule is different, caring for people, but just making sure that you find that time. It is critical.
It's imperative.
It is to our
it's
health.
Totally imperative.
It is, and we love the people we take care of, even if we're not necessarily a caregiver with a live-in loved one, but we can still find that time.
And you have to understand, parents that have kids with disabilities, and there's other ways that caregivers look, and we have that misconception that it's taking care of an aging parent in some cases, or taking care of somebody who has an illness. But there's other ways that it looks. We say here, Caregivers Alberta, it could be somebody that has an illness, disability, and aging, and I always now add other, because it can look so differently depending on what your circumstances. So just to kind of end the day, thank you so much.
Thank you. We could talk forever.
We could totally talk forever for this. I think it's something that we're both completely passionate about, and I think that's really the most important thing. But I am so looking forward, number one, to have you come and participate in the Fall into Wellness Night. But number two, even to do an info session come in the new year with regards to health and holistic nutrition and that sort of thing, just because I think there's a lot more that we can expand on and how we can bring it into the family and that sort of thing.
Yes.
So this is just the beginning, I think, for us in our relationship with Talk Dirt to Me and Caregivers Alberta, to be honest, right?
Yes.
And I'm really lucky to say that you're my friend on top of it. So I'd be like, hey, Jenny, can you come help us out?
You just made my day.
So I can't wait till October, and I know I'll see you before that.
Oh, yes.
But thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Again,
for watching.
If you have any questions, please put them in the bottom. If it comes anything with nutrition, again, you can ask those questions. I'm sure Jenny will go back in and answer those comments as well.
Okay. Yeah.
If you know somebody who could benefit from our conversation about adrenal fatigue and nutrition, share it. Let them know that they're not alone in this whole ordeal of adrenal fatigue, because it's not something that's actually spoken about often. And we know a number of people who've actually gone through it and have not even been diagnosed of it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important that through education and knowledge and sharing that we understand we're not alone, and that there is somebody here to listen. So y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.